Hi guys, welcome back. I read 13 books in July. This is so heavy! But I thought I'd tell you guys what I read, how I read them so fast, and my reviews, and if it's worth it or not. And it's gonna be spoiler free, so so let's go. Okay, starting us off very strong, we have my least rated book. I rated this book 2 out of 5 stars. It's Once You're Mine by Morgan Bridges. This is a dark romance. It's not the darkest. It's not like Rena Kent dark in any sort of way, but it is kind of like light dark. I will recommend it though if you want to get into dark romance but you don't want to read something absurd and terrifying and scary at first. The plot by itself I really did enjoy. It's just a very good dark romance plot. I love the main character a lot. I love her backstory and everything. I think one thing that did throw me off though is that her nickname is Callie and that's my nickname. So reading it, it wasn't what I expected. I expected when I was reading it, I'd be like imagining myself like a YN situation. I'd be like, oh, he's talking about me. He's talking about me. No, it kind of did freak me out a little bit. But the reason it's such a low rating is that the main guy in this book, Hayden, I feel like he didn't have any character development at all. Very 2D character, and I really wanted to know more of his backstory. You don't really learn a lot about that except one little thing, and I wanted to see like his interests and everything, but literally in every single chapter from his POV it was only him and about the girl Callista. I just wish he saw more. Like, does he have any friends? Based on what I've read in this book, I don't think he had any friends. I don't think he had a life except working and stalking. But I will say if I'm ever bored, I will pick up the second book. I heard that it gets better, and I'll update you guys if that gets better. But yeah, 2 out of 5 stars. I wouldn't really recommend. Like I said, only if you really want to get into dark romance with a very simple book and not too dark. Next we have Powerless. Obviously this book has a lot of controversy about it. I will say Red Queen is the series that got me into reading in 6th grade. I love that series to death. I did see a lot of similarities, not as much in this book. I think it was just plots that are used in hundreds of fantasy books. But I did rate this book 4 out of 5 stars. Kyazer. Kyazer, he's a yearner. It's an amazing YA fantasy in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. If you follow my TikTok, I have all my reactions to certain parts in the book. Crazy plot twists and everything. And I just can't like Kai's a yearner. If you like that, I'd say read this book. And the main girl also, I really liked her attitude, how she's kind of not, she's not like a dumb, easygoing female main character. She has like a fire to her. I like that a lot. Next is Fearless. This book is the one that had the massive plot twists and everything in my opinion. I really enjoyed this book. I think it was my favorite in the series. I finished the whole series in 2 days. I stayed up late reading it, all-nighters and everything. It was very addictive. The books are big itself, but I think the storyline was very fast-paced, which I do enjoy because I think I would have gotten bored if we were just stuck in the same setting for like more than 2 chapters at a time. This book was a 5 stars. And I like how this book went more into depth in different settings and areas that we haven't discovered yet, really. Also gives you more of an insight on like the political side of their kingdom. It's not in any way, I don't think, I wouldn't say this book is a like political court type fantasy book at all. I really do enjoy the trials within the series that happens and all the side characters too. I like how they all get their own little storyline and you learn a lot. She does a really good job of going into depth into side characters even if they're just there for a chapter. And then we have Powerful. This is a novella about a side character. I got really bored during this. A lot of people got really connected to the side character. It's Peyton, the main character's best friend. Kind of, yeah. I didn't really care that much. I was way more interested in the trials and the romance that Peyton experiences than this girl. But it was a very quick read. I think I finished it in 1 sitting. It did help me though get a little more connected to the character, which made the series more painful and emotional. I think if it was a character I was more interested in, it would be better. If I really did hate it, I wouldn't have even bothered to read it. So I read it, if that says anything. And then we have Reckless. I read this one on my Kindle. This just overall, wow. This book did a lot of emotional damage to me. I ended up crying during this book. This book is a 5 out of 5 stars. Lauren Roberts did a really good job at an emotional ending, at wrapping everybody's story to a good ending point, but also leaving space for your imagination to imagine like the future. I thought the ending was very sweet, and it made me go like, oh, and everything. And it was like one of those books where I would be like reading it and then I'd be like, what? Like have to stand up and like pace around my room. This series in a total was very addictive. If you like YA fantasies a lot, I really recommend this one. I think I rate the whole series a 4 out of 5 stars. But if you're not including this, then it's a 5 out of 5. Okay, then we have what I think is my second favorite read. I originally tried reading it in 6th or 7th grade, like years ago, and I just couldn't get past the first chapter. It really bored me. But then I read Once Upon a Broken Heart like 2 years ago now, I think. That series is always on my mind. Jax is always on my mind, so I was like, why not try reading Caraval again, because I had the books and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna read it. I finished the series in 2 days. I actually have a reading vlog up of me reading it. If you watch that, like you'll see me like, this book was crazy. It's in third person, which kind of threw me off at first, but then as you read more into it, Stephanie Garber's writing is freaking beautiful. It adds to the whole magical aspect of the world so much more when you don't have that first person insight on certain characters. I feel so deeply connected to both of the sisters. One of them, Scarlett, she's more mind driven, but Tella, the second sister, she's more heart driven. This book was a 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend, and I love the whole Caraval games that were set up. I think that were set up, and it's like the whole point of this is, remember, it's all a game. While reading this, you're bound to forget it's just a game. You're gonna believe certain things. You're gonna, I don't know. It's just a whole web of lies in this magical world that slowly gets unraveled within the series, and I love it. Next we have Legendary. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think this might be my favorite book in the series. If I had to rank the books of the series, it would be Finale, Legendary, then Caraval, just because it's so good. And I think that's saying something because normally series, like my rankings for it, I feel like a lot of people too agree on this. It's like the first book and then just slowly goes downhill. But I feel like the series got better by the last book. But it was already better from the beginning, so it just gets even better. While the first book follows Scarlett, this one kind of follows Tella a bit more, and I absolutely love it. There's so many mysteries in this series, and I love how also there's a lot of character development, because especially in this book and Finale, which I'm about to talk about, Scarlett has, I think, the most character development out of anybody in the series, and I love seeing that. I love seeing character development and like how what the characters go through change their mindsets and their decision making. Yeah, I love this book. I love Tella so much. I think if I had to choose a favorite sister though, Tella's my favorite. But I still love Scarlett. I will never understand the hate on Tella. A lot of people hate on her character. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Then we have Finale, another 5 out of 5. The whole series is a freaking 5 out of 5 stars, if I haven't made that obvious. I just still strictly remember the biggest plot twist to me, I think. I think it's the biggest plot twist for a lot of people too that read the series. I was like, what are you talking about? Okay, so then after that, leading into Finale, it was just crazy. You see more of the magical world, whereas in Caraval, you're just basically in Caraval, like in the games. So this is amazing. I recommend the series to anybody. I think anybody could enjoy it. I also will say, since I read Once Upon a Broken Heart first, people say to read that after, because in the series you get introduced to one of the main characters, Jax, that's in Once Upon a Broken Heart. In my opinion, you can read whichever one you want first. Okay, now we're on to the last 5 books. 6 books. Sorry. We're on to the last 6 books. These are my favorite reads. This series has become my favorite series I've ever read. I have 2 books left, but let's get talking on Throne of Glass. There's a lot of controversy on if you should start with the Assassin's Blade or Throne of Glass first. I will say I highly recommend starting with the Assassin's Blade first. This is the prequel. It happens before Throne of Glass even starts, but people say to read it after the third book, Air of Fire. I could not in a million years imagine going back in time to do that. I'll forever stand on that. You should read The Assassin's Blade first. It makes it so much more emotional. You get attached to certain characters, and then you get like flashbacks in the rest of the whole series that you just have to read this first. 5 stars. All these books are gonna be 5 stars, so I'm not even gonna say the ratings for them. Just know that they're all 5 stars. Matter of fact, they're all 6 stars. Yeah. This series is my favorite series ever now. Ever. Over Boys of Tommen. Ever. Which is saying a lot, because Boys of Tommen is very up there. The farther you get into the series, everything's just so much more emotional. Which I really actually did enjoy. I enjoy a good cry to a book. I really do enjoy it. And the series really delivered that. And then we have Throne of Glass. This book, okay, I was gonna say this book's amazing, but they're all amazing. Really sets the tone. You get introduced to new people, new love interests, and this book kind of introduces you to the more royal side and kingdom side of the series, which I really, 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 really enjoyed. You also get introduced to a trial, which, if you know me, I love a good trial in a fantasy book. And Selena's character in general, wow. She just has so much character development. She has so many, I don't know. Next is Crown of Midnight. I will say this series is also in third person, but it makes sense because the main character, Selena, she is very, like, to herself. She's very smart. She's a freaking assassin, okay? So it also helps because she keeps her, like, planning when she's plotting stuff to herself. You only know, like, as much as she lets on to other people. So when the actual, like, stuff goes down, you're in shock. Ugh, gosh. I'm just obsessed. Alright, then we have Air Fire. This is my favorite book in the series currently. I still have 2 left to read that I'm in the middle of right now. If you've read this series, you know who you meet in this book. You meet Dada, okay? You meet Dada. This book also had a lot of scenes where I felt so deeply connected to Selena. She's obviously, like, she's raised to be an assassin, to be a killer, which I think is amazing. Like, that's hot, okay? Like, I look up to her. But there's also scenes where she's, like, you can tell she's still a teenage girl, which I really do enjoy. Sarah J. Maas did a great job at still picturing her as a teenage girl that is forced into these strong things. I was bawling my eyes out like a baby. Okay, next we have Queen of Shadows. This is where also up until this point, I will say, like, the series has been very YA, and it kind of picks up a little bit, which I really do enjoy. It's such a slow burn. This series is also such a slow burn. But, like, not really in the way you think, because you'll be, if you read the series, you'll be, like, reading it and be like, oh, this is not a slow burn, what does she mean? Oh, but it's a slow burn. Okay, this series is full of surprises. Thank you. There's, like, this whole world, and within this, like, this whole series, you explore and go everywhere. Next I have Empire Storms. I'm so shocked I could even sit down to record this video because I'm so invested in finishing the series. Oh my gosh. There's not much I can say without spoiling it. But you have to read this series. Okay? That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, because I do not want to spoil this. I've already had enough of this series spoiled for me from TikTok. I do not want to spoil it for anybody else, but you have to read it. You just have to, or I'm gonna, like, you're missing out. You're missing out big time, okay? I read all 6 of these books in 7 days. It's so good, like, I swear, like, it's just so good. I also have my reading vlog up on these books if you guys are interested in that. It's spoiler free, so hopefully it'll give you more insight on the series and just how good it is, and it'll inspire you to read it. Overall, I do recommend every book that I read this month. They were all pretty good, except Once You're Mine, that book. I think I posted a rant on my TikTok story and I was pissed. It felt like a waste of my time, but I still am interested in reading the second book, so it couldn't have been that bad. Once I go back to school, I feel like I'm not going to have time to read. So I think it was just, this was really just me using all the time I can to read. Always posting, like, good quotes too. If, like, you're a person that gets inspired by, like, quotes from a book, especially Throne of Glass, so many good quotes that I posted. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I can't believe I've never done one of these, like, what I read in a month videos ever. I think I have like one on my TikTok from like 2 years ago. And I hope that this gave you guys a few new books to add to your TBR.